So if anybody has any questions about their health, whether it's, mental or physical or emotional, please don't hesitate to chime in and chat with us. We do have a fibromyalgia support group that we started over 10 years ago, has 126,000 members, which is not a badge of honor. It is a badge of how bad the general health of the North American population is. And so one of the things that we do in this Telegram is talk about some of the questions and issues that they bring up. So, Martin, if it's okay with you, I'm going to start with George.
Yeah, but before you do that, I would like to put this one out. Last week, you gave me a challenge to try and make a big picture talk or just explain myself completely in one session. So I took a run at it. And so last week's show here on Telegram is that. It's my attempt to explain the big picture all in one go.
Good.
Anyway,
well worth watching and reviewing. So here we go. Greetings, Martin. Looking forward to watching yourself and Scott discussing cloves tomorrow. I use cloves 7 days a week. Inside of a small pot, I put the following ingredients: echinacea, cloves, burdock root, never heard of that one, Pytela, breathe easy, Dr. Morris's Heal All. I bring to a boil, turn off the heat, let the ingredients bleed into the water until room temperature, strain and put in a carafe. Lasts about 2 or 3 days, then I do it all over again. Clove has a chemical called...
Are you stuck on that word? Oh, no. No, he's not stuck on the word. Something happened with Scott's connection. He's on Wi-Fi in Bali, and it's possible that it just got stuck. That's probably what happened. Anyway, there's a chemical in cloves, and it is called eugenol, and it helps to clear the biofilm around the microbes, the bad guys. And he also, George, uses powdered cloves on his black, red, and wild rice mix. Anyway, that was a really cool thing that he shared. Well, I don't know. I'm hoping that Scott will pop up. But in the meantime, if you have a question, please pop in. Anything to say, Kay? Okay, if not, well, here I go. So Missy Chachotka, who in the group wrote this. I had signs of it as a child, and I suspect a vaccine injury when I was 2. I suffered a petit mal seizures afterwards for years. And then a severe accident when I was 9. A semi pulled out in front of our car. And then another car accident at 28. Someone ran a red light and totaled my car. And then finally, a stupid tetanus shot I was forced to have 9 years ago when I cut myself at work, and the doctor would not stitch me up unless I took it. I barely had issues until the tetanus shot. And oddly enough, I reacted to the DTaP as a toddler. I think it was a combination of events. Well, quite the story. So here's something important. It will come to light. I have high hopes that with the new administration coming in, a whole lot of stuff will get released. And one of the things that should get released is a little secret that has been floating around for quite some time. There's a doctor that has been deplatformed and made silent for years. His name is Jack Kruse, Kruse, and he tells a story because he is old enough now to remember the early days, and he remembers when the what's that thing called? The vaccine that was supposed to stop polio, when it was released, there was this particular event where a lot of children died because of the injections. Anyway, it came to pass that all of the vaccinations, all of them, include something called SV40, simian virus 40. That suggests that there are 39 other simian viruses out there, but SV40 got into the vaccines, all of them, including the mRNA COVID vaccines, all of it. And that thing raises the body's affinity toward cancer, or makes people more vulnerable. So the more shots you take, the more likely you will be having this immune system problem. Cancer is an illness of the immune system not being able to shut down the abnormal cells. So the story of this gal, right? Got reaction after a vaccination as a kid, ill after that, and then these traumatic events, right? Like her trauma was largely physical, right? These car accidents cause a dramatic impact. Like when you hit something at a high speed, you break a lot of cells. When, I don't know how to best put it, but when you decelerate, a lot of cell membranes burst and a lot of cell fluid gets spilled out of the cells. So there's a widespread damage throughout the body. So it takes a long while to put it back together. So these physical traumatic events are serious business. What would I do to try and help her now? You know, the stuff that we have available now are interesting tools. One that deals with microbial infections, and that would be viral, bacterial, and fungal, is a product that we offer, and it's called Amazing Soak or Amazing O. It's the same stuff, just different packaging. And the Amazing O comes with a dropper, so that's something that you would use in like to drink it or stuff like that. And the Amazing Soak, you can take it orally, or you can inhale it, or you can put it in your bathtub, or you can put it into a foot soak. Either way, what it does, it pushes into the body the mineral that helps to release hypochlorous acid, which is the same acid that the white blood cell will release when it tries to kill off an invader. So now you're getting a large amount of that coming through. We've used it with active COVIDs and long COVIDs and Lyme and all of that. I actually think that there's very little physiological difference between long COVID and Lyme disease and chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. All of that somehow to me is the same thing in a way. And anyway, taking that is an awesome way of helping to shut down all of the problems of the body. In our metabolic world, we have two directions, right? Every chemical transaction is an oxidation and reduction. One side is the oxidation, reduction is the other, and they always take place. It's sort of like yin and yang, where oxidation is taking away of the electron and reduction is giving back of the electron. So these exchanges, electron taken, electron given, are important. So the ROS, reactive oxygen species, which this Amazing Soak is a oxidating element. So it's taking away the electrons. The donation of the electrons is done by antioxidants, vitamins like vitamin C and A and D and all of the rest of it. One of the best ways to get electrons back in is grounding. Bare feet on the ground, bare feet on moist grass or on a lake shore or seashore. That's the best. But gardening, bare hands in the dirt, also works. And eating foods that have grown in the ground that have not been cooked. So salads, all the raw stuff, carrot juice if you wish. Also hugging trees, bare body parts, right? Like hands or naked running in the bush if you like. But anyway, the more skin contact with the ground, the better. So we have the two sides, the taking away of the electrons. And by the way, what's important is this. All the invaders, all the microbials, they have very short lifespan, like hours or days at maximum. So when you oxidize them, if you advance yourself, say like 2 weeks on the timeline, all of the microbes are dead. And then you use antioxidants to undo the damage. One of the metabolic repair tools that we have is called Nano Soma. Nano, I don't know, it got the name because it's a small particle size reduced polycosanol. Polycosanol is a common ingredient in many plants, sugarcane, wheat, rice, other places. Anyway, the stuff in Nano Soma is from sugarcane, and it's particle size reduced, so it actually is small enough to get inside cells. And as it does that, it repairs cell membranes, so your cell receptors are improved, meaning all of the nutrients and say like vitamins or vitamin D, vitamin C, iodine, and whatever else, signaling molecules that are in your body, you will get better utilization of that when you use Nano Soma. So that's part one. Part two, it improves mitochondria, which means the food to energy conversion is improved. So that is going to help you a great deal with things like blood glucose levels, diabetes, that sort of stuff. And the third thing, it will also help to repair the DNA. And that's quite important. There's this enzyme called retroviral transcriptase that allows, this transcriptase enzyme allows to record into the DNA stuff that is happening in the body. The Nano Soma helps to reverse the degenerative changes, helps to bring your body back to the original blueprint that it's, all right, I'm just checking on Scott. Scott is still not, well, he appears to be online, but without pictures, without camera. All right, what else should we do here? Oh, there he is. He came on.
Yeah, it's, I've been around for a while, but you were ignoring me, and then I kept trying the video thing when you said the camera's off, and now all of a sudden I'm here.
Yeah. All right. Well, you have the talking stick.
I was going to echo what you said about the Nano Soma, and I think that one of the things that I'm sure you weren't the first person to say it, but you were the first person I heard say it, which was when you find yourself in a deep hole, the first thing you should do is stop digging. And, you know, we talk a lot about malnutrition and toxicity and those sort of things. And I think that, you know, this case with the lady, the tetanus shot was not what caused it. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. Mm-hmm. And so all the other things that she'd been doing contributed to it. And finally, the body just got to the end of its rope, and that was it. And I think all of us all the time should really be taking a close look at what are we sticking in our mouth? What is the air like that we're around? What are we drinking? And, and stop doing, don't drink alcohol for a couple months. See what happens. Don't drink Coca-Cola for a couple months. See what happens. Don't eat sugar. Don't eat gluten. Don't eat, all, like you said, stuff that came out of the ground and has not been cooked. And
there's this thing, the five food-like objects of death, which are refined flour, refined sugar, refined salt, refined plant seed oils, and milk that's been, or dairy that has been pasteurized and homogenized. Those are the 5 that you should completely 100% never, ever use. Never, ever, ever. Right? Yeah. So how will you do that? Well, it's difficult because you cannot buy stuff that comes in a box with a barcode on it. You have to eat from scratch, cook from scratch, buy the raw stuff, and preferably buy it organic.
In other words, do what we've been doing for millions of years, but not the last 150.
Yeah. So the paleo culture that has been rising in the nutritional field, right, is actually really cool. Do things that were not done 5,000 years ago. Just delete the Industrial Revolution. Delete the food conveniences. It's interesting. We humans are tool-making animals, and technology has been such a phenomenal progress, such a phenomenal thing that we have been able to build shelters, and we have been able to build things like trains and trucks. Transportation has improved so much, and the industrial age has brought upon us many, many conveniences. Like, my life is so much more comfortable than it might have been if I were living 5,000 years ago. However, food and medicine is one of the things where the technological advances have done us disservice. I think it's because we are not evolved or not created for the modern environment. We are bred for something that happens on the savannah in the middle of Africa, where we are omnivores. We find small animals and insects and plants to eat. I think that's the general idea.